Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. The very prolific local filmmaker Henrik Kuto is back in the studio to talk about what he's been up to and to not talk about the secret project he's currently working on. If you enjoy the show, like and follow The Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, that is it. We're back on The Life, and somebody's breaking into the studio. What can I do for you?
Saying hi.
Hi. We just went live. That's okay. Henrik Kuto has joined me in the studio.
Hey.
What is happening? We were talking a little bit about secrecy.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, so don't even know what I can talk about.
You can't say a word.
Thing, man. This is going to be a weird show with nobody talking.
Exactly.
So what's going on in the movie world?
Well,
except the stuff you can't talk
well,
about.
Sure.
I won't ask you.
I mean, I can say I'm working on something. I just can't say what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Well, we shot a feature earlier this year called Haunting Inside, which is almost out of post production right now. We have a rough cut. We're working on polishing it, getting the effects done, and then sending it off to the composer, hoping that'll premiere end of November, beginning of December.
Cool.
This year was thrown off a bit for me. I'm known for being prolific, but this year I got very, very sick at the start of the year and I had to get surgery.
Oh, that's
I'm doing much better now, but I was very sick for that first half of the year.
Wow.
It was really unpleasant, and it just
for the first half of the year.
Roughly, because I got the surgery at the end of February. So prior to that, I was just very sick, and then after that, I was just recovering. And what happened is my gallbladder went bust, and had to get that cut out. And even minor abdominal surgery sure feels major.
Yeah.
But then literally the day before the surgery, my tooth, I had a tooth go bad. It cracked down the middle. So I had like an abscess, and so literally as soon as my surgeon from the gallbladder said I was healthy enough, I had to go and get dental surgery. So I had them like back to back. They had to cut open my jaw and drill in there. Actually, a new tooth is right here.
That's lovely.
They just put it in. I love it. Chews great.
It does its job then, as long as it chews.
But so because of that, I feel like I've been chasing my tail the whole year, just trying to catch up. Because like Haunting Inside, which we shot in April, I believe, was supposed to be shot. Actually, the start date of it was actually like the weekend before what ended up being my surgery date. So luck on me, we didn't try to do that. And also, when you're mending, it's really hard to do a job as stressful as that. I mean, you've been on a couple of my sets.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing Good Ever Happens wasn't too bad stress-wise, but Calamity Jane, we were just looking at the weather report every 5 seconds, and everybody had to get into makeup. I mean, it was a fun movie to do, but
you're a very active director anyway. I mean, I remember making out.
Oh my gosh!
I'm running up and down the aisles in the little fake wedding, the dream wedding sequence. That was
because you're sitting next to my mother, and my mother was even like, I had no idea what his job entailed. Yeah, that was a good example. Well, it was a short day too, so I wasn't afraid to burn bright because it was like, by like 2 p.m. it was like, or 3 p.m. it was like, all right, I fell on a couch and didn't get back up the rest of the day. And that was a hot day too.
Yeah.
I mean, directing can take a lot out of you. And when you're shooting a movie like Haunting Inside, where we had an incredibly tight budget and an incredibly tight schedule, we shot 2 pieces, 2 chunks of it. And the first chunk was when I was still technically in recovery, but I was on the tail end of recovering from the surgery. And at the end of every day, I could just feel how much it took out of me, working that hard. But then the next one was 3 weeks later because I had convention appearances booked and stuff. So I just couldn't work on it. And when I came back to that one, it was like day and night. I was just like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'd seen my surgeon for the last time and he'd called me fully recovered and everything like that. So, but it was very, it threw everything off. And I'm so used to trying to, because even when you make a plan and you're well, it doesn't usually go so good either.
Yeah.
So, but
even just trying to get everything together to do everything you do when you're well. I mean, it's still
absolutely. Well, and I'm very lucky on Haunting Inside. I was able to. It was a very small movie. And it was one location type of film with about 6 actors. And everyone I put on were, people I'd worked with many times before, people I could really rely on. Right. So, when things got tough, they were not afraid to get tough back, which really, let that movie pull together. And I think it turned out really well. I watched the rough cut a few weeks ago and was just very happy with it. So, but because I'm tied up in this project right now, which I'm not real, my hands are tied about talking about it, but it's a really cool project. We start shooting a little bit of it this weekend, and then probably going to shoot the majority of it, the lion's share of it in November, because October is like the airlines have like the blackout dates. October, I am in 4 cities in 5 weekends. Wow. So it's Cleveland, it's
now, is this
Athens,
filming,
Georgia.
or is this
film
just
related, like film festivals, film conventions. I'll be doing Chiller Theater in New Jersey. So I'm just gone and gone and gone and gone. So it's very hard to pull something together, because that travel, even when it's just weekends, it really starts to get to you. You just, especially when you're driving all the time, 10 hours to Jersey, 10 hours to Georgia, each way. It just, it really starts to wear you down. But this has been every October for the past 4 or 5 years has been like that. Except this year
when you make a lot of horror movies.
Yeah,
October's going to be a busy time for you.
They need you, there was the most famous example ever is I did a movie called Haunted House on Sorority Row. I did that, and I think that was 2013. Yeah, it was 2013. And we shot it the last weekend of September. And then, of course, October, was my usual bookedness. So we shot the first half in September, and then the second half was the first weekend of November. So it was like as close as I could get them together. Right. But so I was working a day job at the time. So it was like work Monday through Friday, go shoot this movie Saturday, Sunday, work Monday through Friday. But on Friday, went to Cleveland and did a show, worked Monday through Friday, went to Pittsburgh that following weekend for a convention, worked Monday through Friday. So long story short, when it was all said and done, I'd worked like 52 days in a row. It was a number like that because then it was like work Monday through Friday, shoot those last 2 days of the movie, work Monday through Friday, and then I had 1 day of pickups, and then and then on the 7th day he rested.
Right.
So so it was,
Well, that's the good thing and the bad thing about doing something that you love and something that you want to do is, you're going to do what it takes to get it done.
Oh yeah.
As I know, my July and August have been crazy because I work a full-time job, plus I'm a full-time grad student, plus I got the radio show and the podcast, plus July and August I was recording with Unwritten Podcast Season 2. I was also doing I think there are about 3 or 4 different film projects I was working on. So yeah, it's just
you got it.
Going.
And when you love it, you don't even question it.
I question it, but I still I question what the heck am I doing?
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, but you have to. That's what you have to do. The one thing I'm very fortunate about is not having a day job. Has helped me a lot. Right. But I did 8 years with working, then working, then working, then working. I remember when I did a movie called Awkward Thanksgiving. With the first shoot was a 3-day weekend, and the second shoot was 2 days. And by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, whatever. I went into work on Monday, and it was actually the Tuesday that I woke up in the morning and was like, can't do this. I'm calling in dead. I can't even, like I couldn't, but it was so weird. It was like delayed reaction. Like I went into work the next day, ha ha ha. And then,
that's one of the things I miss about working at Wright State because we were union and I had a lot of sick time.
Oh yeah.
And I could just, I could call off when I wanted to. I switched jobs and now doesn't quite work the same.
I worked at one of those charming jobs where they just worked you 5 days a week, but only 6 hours. So they didn't have to give you insurance or sick time.
That's always lovely. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
That was all I did. To be completely frank, like before I started doing this for a living, I never made much money. Yeah. I don't make much money now, but I do what I really enjoy. But like I was never making more than like $10.50, $11.50 an hour at any job, except for when I worked for that moving company. But that wasn't a real job. It was like they'd call you on certain days. They paid $12.
Wow.
They were good though. They were great. But like, so it's like, I never.
The way you started off with that statement was, except when I worked with that moving company, I was thinking automatically, was this a legitimate moving company or were you stealing stuff out of people?
Well, I was working with German Baptists, and you know how shady those people can get.
You can't trust them with their prayer bonnets and their
I really did work with a ton of
that,
I really did work with a ton of German Baptists at that moving job, and it was so funny how quickly they were just cool with a weirdo. I mean, I look like a weird guy. I'm not what they're used to. But they were just totally like friendly and like offering me things out of their lunch pails. And like I was just like, wow, it was very quick camaraderie on this place. When not only do I look weird, but I don't look particularly blue collar either. So it's just, I'm really fish out of water.
Yeah. You don't look like your typical German Baptist.
Well, thank you, English.
Yeah.
I don't think they say English. I don't know why I said it that way.
I think that's Amish.
The Mennonites and the Amish, I think, say that. But yeah, so I mean, it's tough though, even with being able to take the breaks. And the funniest part is like I got called 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were like, "Do you want to do the Chiller Theater Convention in October?" And I've been doing the April one every year, which is the smaller one. Chiller Theater is the biggest horror convention in America. It's it's a great show, and there you meet lots of interesting people and get to get your movies out there. So I said yes when that was the only weekend. It was the last weekend of October. It was the only one I had to myself to like be at home and hand out candy. So now that's gone.
So now that's gone. That's the price you pay for doing what you love.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I put that in Making Out, the romantic comedy, which is on Amazon Prime right now, and I highly recommend your listeners, if they have Amazon Prime, I have a ton of movies on there that they can watch, and it won't cost them a dime past what they pay per year or per month for their Amazon Prime. But on Making Out, there's a part. I'm always driven insane by the people who say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's like, I believe that that's totally opposite. If you do what you love, you work every day of your life.
Yeah.
There's never a day off. Even when you're laying in a hammock trying to just chill out, you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And that's the curse that you just take.
Yeah. Just like comedy, you're always thinking about strange things.
Or even owning a business. Yeah. I'm sure, if you own a bar and you're really trying to make it successful, I'm sure that, when you're taking a shower, you're thinking about the bar. I'm sure when you're checking emails, you're thinking about the bar. When you're surfing internet pornography, you're thinking about the bar. It's just kind of
no. When I'm thinking,
no, that's me time.
Yeah, that's me time right there. I'm not thinking about the radio show at all. What I'm thinking is, why am I doing radio? I could be doing that.
Yeah, right. A few sit-ups, I'm in.
Yeah, just work on my abs a little bit. Good to go. Do some stretching exercises or something. I don't. Oh, that's terrible. But no, I just thinking about buying into a business is a lot to think about right there. Because I'm not going to announce it yet, but I have a meeting this weekend. I might write a big chunk to own a big part of something. So,
that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm terrified of that.
Well, you know who you can get to do discount videos for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, I might have to take you up on that.
Well, you've done enough for me that we can talk like that. I love when strangers contact me. Can I get the friend price? And I'm like, well, you're not my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like being in your movies. That's all.
Well, I mean, man,
they're a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I've had a lot of fun doing them. I mean, even getting killed, which is still one of my favorite memories with Erin R. Ryan.
Oh yeah,
when she killed me while I was peeing.
Oh my god. Oh man,
she's killed me twice now.
Yeah, because there was that trailer we did, which that movie will hopefully be coming out later this or early next year. That was a part of.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Because it turned out great. But oh man, my favorite thing that you've done is just is without a doubt Nothing Good Ever Happens, because I gave you the role of the boss who's really pretty reasonable, but the employee hates his guts. So that's like just my favorite, the earnestness in your face. Always like, I'm quitting the job, and you're like, all right. And he's like, because I could do better without you and all this. And you're like, fair enough. Like, you're not even mad. You're just like, okay. I mean, people quit. That kills me.
Yeah, that's that was shot up at the offices for
Folio Art and Design.
Okay.
Yeah, Folio House, which I think they're moving now.
Oh, all right.
I think I saw something on Facebook about that, which is too bad because that's a gorgeous office space, and I really liked having friends who leased it so that I could use it.
Yeah, that's always good. But I think we're going to take a quick break. I got to run down the hall and check on something. Because every now and then you got to check on something.
See a man about a horse.
Yeah, see a man about something like that.
See a man about a leak.
A leaky horse. So, all right, we'll be back here shortly.
Here's this week's Comedy Rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District. Check out wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Tuesday, September 19th, Dayton Story Slam is at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District. That show starts at 7 p.m. Also on Tuesday, Krish Mohan is at the South Park Tavern with a bunch of local comics. South Park Tavern is at 1301 Wayne Avenue in Dayton. That show starts at 9:30. Also on Tuesday, there's an open mic at Dr. Doodles at 2510 Miamisburg Centerville Road. That show starts at 9 p.m. Wednesday, September 20th, the Comics Hang from 5 to 9 p.m. at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street. That is just an opportunity for local comics to get together and hang out, work on some material. Thursday, September 21st, Pat Godwin and Scotty Mays on the Families of Addict fundraiser at Wiley's Comedy Club. Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd, Dwight Simmons is at the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club. Friday through Sunday, September 22nd through the 24th, Justin McKinney is at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. And Sunday, September 24th, Wiley's Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. Also, be sure to check out the Unwritten Podcast from Dayton Writers Movement, available to unwrittenpodcast.com.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio-video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
Came under wide attack by unknown foreign power.
Coming this summer, when biological warfare threatens extinction, the world needs a hero.
Inside this bag is the cure for the zombie virus. Ta-da! I'm going to save the world. How about you?
William Lee is Zachariah Stone in Cinema Lexicon's 6 Feet Below Hell.
Your kind is doomed, human.
That is one ugly It wasn't so bad. Really?
Starring William Lee, William Regglesworth, Banza Townsend, and Aaron Perez. 6 Feet Below Hell, available in Redbox this summer.
If you see someone that you know is dead and then come back to life, run!
All right, we're back on the life. We have, Gary's. Gary, you there?
I'm here, but I hear a lot of static.
Okay, let me turn you down a little bit, and let me hang. Hopefully, if this hangs up on you, just call right back. All right? You still there?
All right.
Is that better?
No.
No.
What kind of rinky-dink operation are you running there?
Just a crappy radio show. That's all.
Take the tin cans and pull them farther apart, and the string will tighten up.
Oh, okay. Is that how it works? I'm not sure.
Should I call back?
We're hearing you.
Yeah.
Are you not hearing us?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you're in the middle of a hurricane in Florida.
Well, that's Irma still coming through. We're getting the remnants there.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Well, that's the most important part, really.
Right, yeah, we don't matter.
Yeah.
So what's
really, everyone out there hearing what I have to say is far more important than anything else.
Absolutely. So, so what's going on at Wiley's this week?
All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll jump off here. I might try to call you back, but in the meantime, don't forget that Happy Chichester and Dave Hill, Incredible Dave Hill, are at Wiley's tonight at 8 p.m.
All right.
And Dave Hill has put it out there as a challenge that if you come to the show tonight and you don't enjoy the show, you can kick him in the taint.
That's a good deal.
All right, taint kicking at Wiley's. You can't do
right.
better than that.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll catch you later. I'm not sure what was going on with that phone there. That's well, we're back on the Life. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in the studio with Henrik Couto.
Hey.
That was Gary Wood, had to call in from Wiley's, and Dave Hill and Happy Chichester are going to be at Wiley's Comedy Joint this evening. I think it's Chichester. I think that's what he said. Yeah.
I mean,
it's what it sounded like.
If you don't notice it is a mistake, then no one will know.
He's trying to call back again. Let me see who he got. This is Life. You're on the air.
Oh, that's not even better at all.
That's not a bet.
But I can muddle through here a little bit, but I'll let you go. Also, I wanted to double down real quick on that Dave Hill challenge. That if you don't enjoy yourself at the show tonight, you can kick him in the taint. I wanted to double down as the owner of Wiley's. I feel it's my obligation to say that if you come to the show and you don't enjoy yourself, not only can you kick Dave Hill in the taint, but I also will kick Dave Hill in the taint.
That's a good challenge right there.
How do you not enjoy that?
Exactly.
All right.
I'm thinking
later,
about.
Don.
I'm thinking about taking the night off work.
You guys have a fun time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep, there you go. If you go to Wiley's and you don't enjoy the show, you can kick Dave Hill in the taint, and so will Gary Wood.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's. See, I wonder if some of the interference is that this we're technically not live because the thing was malfunctioning earlier.
Oh,
so that could be part of it. I wonder if I should click go live just to really screw it up. Let me. Let me do it and see if it does anything. So, yeah, there you go. See, they keep changing stuff around, and it just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. But we'll figure out what we're doing here, and eventually we'll start doing a radio show because that would be really fun. So let's try. I think we might actually be live it says 75 seconds. We'll be live. Even though we're live, so don't worry about that. That's just this computer being stupid. So where were we before I had to run down the hall?
Oh, gosh. I mean, just about, if you're talking to me, we're probably talking about movies. So, I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Have you seen, Gary mentioned on the phone earlier, he saw It. Have you seen the new
I actually saw it
yet?
twice over the weekend.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's good.
I've heard good things.
It's a lot of fun. It's a creepy movie.
See, that's one that I probably wouldn't be able to drag the wife to. She's not big into that type of movie.
Then it's definitely not for her. No, it was definitely a good time. It's definitely, it's killing the box office, which is great, which is great news. So, the only bummer about it really is just that, you have to wait 2 or 3 years to see part 2.
Oh, there's going to be a part 2. Okay.
Well, it's a lot of people didn't know that when the movie ends, it says chapter 1. Because the book is 2 big parts, the kids and the adults. So this first movie is just the kids' story, and then it goes to the adult story in the next one. So technically, it is incomplete. And why they're going to make us wait so long, I don't know.
That's just what they do. They're
bastards.
They like to keep you. They like to keep you waiting. But there's been a lot of sequels that you had to wait several years to get to.
Yeah, but not a pre-planned sequel. That's my problem. Is that it's like if it's from the beginning.
There have been some because what was the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Then
they were only a year apart, weren't they?
Were they a year? I can't.
That remember. I can't. I don't like Lord of the Rings very much. So.
Oh, you don't?
But I always think of Back to the Future 3, which came out 6 months later. That's the way to do it.
Okay. Yeah,
6
get
months
it
later.
out there while it's still fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just impatient by nature.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to wait.
No.
See, that's why I'm not even going to watch the first until the second one's
Just
out.
gonna wait. Yes, you can binge it.
It's like, yeah, there we go. I don't. That's how little I like to wait. Is that I will put off waiting I will wait to put off waiting.
Yeah, you can procrastinate on the.
Yeah, you take your time. You don't have to wait as much. If you just be patient, you don't have to be nearly as impatient.
It's like peeling a bunch of macadamia nuts and then eating the handful. You know, it doesn't take as long.
Exactly. It makes more sense to me. You know, sure, you waste a lot of time just peeling and you don't get to enjoy the fruits of your labors, but then it hits all at once.
Yeah.
And usually when I eat too many nuts, it really does hit all at once. That's, for some reason, this show always goes to poo. I don't know.
Well, everyone can identify with it. I would dare say there is no one listening who has not pooed.
I would dare say there's no one listening.
That's a pretty good one.
See, that's where I thought you were going with it, and then you had to bring poop into it.
Why'd I have to finish the thought?
We do have some listeners. I've actually got listeners in Ireland now to
really?
the podcast. Yeah, so welcome to the show,
yeah.
guys. I don't know what you're thinking, but
it must be pretty early there if they're sober.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they listen live, but they've been getting a lot of downloads from the podcast. So yeah, because I don't think we weren't officially a podcast.
Not officially. You were still kind of like you were still flirting with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we've been. This will be coming out next Tuesday as episode 65. So,
nice.
Yeah, we've been going for a while.
At the end of the episodes, do you say "see you next Tuesday"? Because if you're not, you should start.
I should. Even though, the only problem is it goes. I release on Fridays and Tuesdays.
Well, now you ruined it.
So yeah. So I'd have to. I would have had to say at the end of the last show. That
involves math.
Just gets confusing.
That's too hard.
Yeah. I'm not good with that stuff. Those numbers. Yeah.
No.
I am taking accounting this semester, which I'm getting better.
Oh, that's good.
I'm up to 2.
Oh, 2's a good one.
Yeah.
I find myself often on that one myself. So
yeah, it's a good one to get to.
Yeah.
You kind of sometimes you have to go beyond that, but it's if you're going to have a stopping point, it should be 2.
Yeah,
because it's a complete number. Oh, I don't even know where we're going. Should we do some news stories? Would you like to see what's going on in the world?
I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know what day it is.
Well, these really aren't important news stories anyway. They're just, like this first one. A bizarre dream by a Serbian barber led to a hair-raising cut for a customer. Mario Vlala of Novi Sad in northern Serbia recently dreamed that North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and his staff visited him in his living room. He said, "When I woke up, I decided to do this hair tattoo. And it came out looking pretty amazing. He apparently shaved a picture of Kim Jong-un in the back of a customer's head."
Well.
And he called it a hair. The complete haircut took 5 hours. And apparently he played North Korean music throughout the entire haircut. So
yeah, apparently he's just more reason to never go to Serbia.
Yeah, apparently he's a little fixated on Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
See, I was wondering because his dad was Kim Jong-il.
Yeah.
So do you call him Kim, or do you call him Un? Is Un his first name? Is it his last name, first name?
I think that you're right. I think that the first name is their surname.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. But what really makes sense?
Because it's like the Kim family.
Yeah.
So it's Un. His dad was ill.
Well, the good news is, I think we can just call him Mr. Kim. Neither of us are that friendly.
Well, yeah,
we're not that close with him. So, we're going to have to keep it formal.
I don't know him on a last name basis, I guess. Yeah, but only Dennis Rodman has that.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and Un.
Oh, yeah.
Denny and Un. That's the new. That's a new sitcom right there. Denny and Un. See, I don't even remember half of these news stories. An initiative set up to find signs of intelligent life in the universe has detected a series of mysterious radio signals from a dwarf galaxy 3 billion light years away. Scientists with Breakthrough Listen say they have found 15 fast radio bursts, or FRBs, because you gotta make you gotta just do the letters for everything. I can't even think of what the heck it's called. From a deep space repeater called FRB 121102. The numbers indicate when the first signal was discovered, November 12th, 2012. While a few other FRBs have been detected, what makes this one unique is that it was heard again in 2015 and its location pinpointed a year later. So they have specific radio signals, FRBs.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
imagine how good it'll be when they switch to cable.
Yeah, I know. They get full signal all the time.
Right?
Spectrum is actually, I mean, their signal's pretty strong.
I'm surprised. I just
fan
adapted
of them, but you know, as far as the signal, my Wi-Fi is great.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, their customer service is way better than Time Warner's was. I mean, like phone customer service. I haven't had to wait. Yeah. Like, it's weird. It's
really,
yeah.
So maybe it's not just the signal strong. There are signs of intelligent life at Spectrum.
We can hope. But
there wasn't at Time Warner. I remember that for sure.
As a scientist, I remain optimistic in my skepticism.
So you're a scientist filmmaker.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's why you keep casting Mike Canistero.
Yeah,
it's a scientist thing. You're trying. Yeah.
We like to talk about quarks.
Yeah. Quarks or quirks?
Yes.
Okay, good. As long as that's cleared up. Let's see. An 800-year-old coffin smashed to the floor of a UK museum last week after someone reportedly tried to put a child inside it for a photo.
Wait, this is in the UK?
This is in the UK. The sandstone relic was on display at the Prittlewell Priory Museum in Southend-on-the-Sea, Essex, when someone knocked it over by lifting a child over a protective barrier. Instead of reporting the damage and taking responsibility for the accident, the Guardian reported the surveillance video captured the culprits fleeing, leaving the toppled coffin with a deep crack and a large triangle-shaped piece missing from its middle. They should have at least collected the piece as a souvenir.
They could, or they could have tried to put it on with some chewing gum before Dad gets back from vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but for the record, I mean, the UK with a story like that, the UK has no right to ever make fun of like our rednecks or our like American South, because the second I heard that story, I was like, I immediately, like, this is terrible, but I immediately imagined like some Kentucky museum or something, like, because somebody would want to be like, hell yeah, picture with this thing. Yep. Nope, that's the UK.
Get the kids in the coffin. Let's take a picture.
It's gonna look great. And then it would fall back away slowly.
Yeah.
Quit yelling.
Yep.
Of course, they could have been, vacationing. They could have been.
That's true. Yeah, it could have been.
It could have been some Yankees.
Yeah. It probably was. Now
and that's why they didn't say anything, because they were like, we're never going to get to the embassy in time. But I just love that. I mean, you see an antique coffin and your first thought is put the kid in it. All right. I mean, fair enough.
Well, that's always been my first thought.
I don't have any children, so I can't.
I don't either. If I had, I'd put them in a coffin, probably. Eventually, or at least I'd think about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, let's see. There will be at least this is a couple weekends old. See, sometimes I don't put the news out there. I don't get a chance to on a live show, and sometimes it gets a little backed up. But I mean, this first statement's pretty much something that is true for every weekend right now. There will be at least 40 protests around the world this weekend that don't concern white supremacy, Donald Trump, or freedom of speech. This one is about a right for a woman to go topless in public without fear of arrest or shame. It's all part of the 10th annual Go Topless Day, a global protest held every August since 2007. Yes, August. So that's how out of date we are. We missed Go Topless Day.
How could you?
Well, I didn't, because I go topless every day when I can. As soon as you'll see me running down the hall. Sometimes I go pantsless too. It's just. Well,
it's to be aerodynamic,
right?
You just shave down and go.
Way. Yeah. All completely shaven. I'm smooth, just totally smooth. Okay, this year's event takes place on a Saturday. It protests gender inequality where nipples are concerned, because that's really, when you think gender inequality, that's the first thing you think of is, what about nipples?
Well,
because that's true, because you guys can show theirs all the time, and nobody wants to see them.
One of the forms of protest has been photoshopping pictures of men's areolas and putting them over women's areolas, which you can't tell. You can't tell the difference, and vice versa, putting a woman's areola on a man and then blurring it,
right?
Because
you'd have
that's the one that's offensive.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's okay. We missed Go Topless Day.
Well,
See,
it makes sense. It'd be awfully
when,
cold, otherwise, and then you might put an eye out. So
that's true. Yeah. You don't want to have it during the fall season.
No.
You want it when it's pretty warm out there. Yeah, you don't want. I mean, it's like being in the frozen food section at the grocery store for too long. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
and you you want to make sure that for one there aren't children around. And you want to make sure that nobody gets too close because they can lose an eye.
And you don't want to scratch up the case,
Right.
the glass case too. So.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like diamond cut glass on the frozen food section. Oh wow! Okay, hey, farmer and see another British story. There's all kinds of British stories.
The
in
Brits,
this one.
they get a lot going on.
Yeah, a farmer in southern England has thanked the firefighters who saved her piglets from a blazing barn in the most apt way. Rachel Rivers this week treated crew members at Pusey Fire Station to a batch of sausages which were made from the very animals they had rescued from the fire in her farm in Milton Lilbourne. Somewhere in England. Who cares? I wanted to thank them, she said. I promised them I'd bring some sausages for them, which they were all pleased about. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact is when they're pigs, you want to cook them the way you want, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, you don't want them. Yeah, it's just wasteful.
Yeah.
They'd be way overdone. And I mean, they're pigs, so you don't want your pork undercooked.
No.
But you never want it overcooked either. It's got to be done at the right temperature because trichinosis, I think, is what that's a fear. Yeah. So you don't want undercooked pork.
No.
And sometimes when there's an actual barn fire, you can't control how well done they are.
Well, the best part about the story is it just gives a really good example of the difference between rural culture and no, but really because we find it bizarre, but I'm sure from her perspective, she's like, well, no, I mean, I raised those pigs to
that's
make
what they were for.
sausages. Yeah. So I figured, hey, since they saved me on crop, basically on commodity cost, I just bring them some sausages.
Yeah. It's not all that weird to me because I grew up, we raised hogs from time to time and we cleaned them and ate them.
Well,
and there's nothing better. There's nothing better than sausage so fresh that you're still cutting up part of the animal they're making the sausage from.
Fair enough.
Because that was lunch when we were processing. That was lunch. They were grinding it up and pattying right onto the right into the pan. That's good sausage right there.
Good. That's a good stuff.
So yeah, that's why I included that.
But it's definitely bizarre. I mean, it's a weird thing when you don't see your meat. Think that way.
True. Yeah, when you don't meet your meat.
Exactly.
Yes. What is that Douglas Adams meeting the meat? He actually have you ever read any the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Not the movie because the movies were terrible, but Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the restaurant at the end of the universe, they actually developed a animal that was raised just for meat that wanted you to eat him. That was his pride, and that was in order to end the debate over animal rights. They actually bred an animal that knew it was bred for food and wanted to be and could talk and tell you. So he was. So they got to meet the meat before dinner, and
I think that would make me feel worse.
Yeah, it's telling you exactly how the best parts of him are made. But because they bring it out and then they said, well, I'll go pop off and kill myself because it wouldn't be right for somebody else to do it. And of course that upsets the people at the table. And he says, well, that's okay. I'll be very humane. So yeah,
that's pretty great.
If you ever get a chance, Douglas Adams, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, fantastic series of books. He had a lot of involvement with Monty Python back in the 80s. So I think because the Monty Python movie, The Meaning of Life, a lot of that involved Douglas Adams as well.
Oh, okay.
And he always wanted it made into a movie, and they finally did after he died, and it was terrible.
Oh.
Now there was a miniseries that was adapted from a BBC radio audio show that they did. There was a miniseries they did which was terribly acted, but it was really good as far as staying true to the novels.
Okay.
So if you ever get a chance, the miniseries is okay. The movie itself is kind of crap.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's see. I still don't like that one. See, another story in England, but I don't like that one.
Yeah, we're being pretty harsh on the UK right now.
We are. Let's see. See, I don't remember half of these either.
Well, that's good. They're fresh.
So let me just read this one. A former NASA engineer has unveiled a monster-sized water cannon, which he is calling the world's largest super soaker, that's capable of smashing glass, Coke cans, watermelons, and most likely a world record. Mike Rober, who last year presented the world's largest Nerf gun, showed off his 7-foot-long creation on YouTube on Tuesday, with the device spraying water 243 miles per hour and 2,400 pounds per square inch. That's 8 times the pressure of a fire hose. Yeah. According to Rober, the Super Soaker took about 6 months to build, and like the original children's toy design, relies on air pressure to fire. In this updated model, the device utilizes the tanks of nitrogen, gas, and water, which are stored in the handle.
I was about to say, that's a bit of a stretch, which just like a super soaker uses air pressure. Yeah, not just like a super soaker. You pump that with your hands a little. Like, you're talking about combining gases that are compressed professionally.
Just like a super
Just
soaker.
Exactly like a super soaker.
No difference at all.
Not at all. I feel like there's at least a smidge of a difference in that.
A little bit. That's
and I'm guessing it's also made of steel, probably.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine a little plastic super soaker probably wouldn't be able to stand up to that amount of pressure.
I would hope not.
Especially because it's like crushing beer cans and stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, Coke cans. Because we can't advertise beer.
Fair enough.
Of any kind.
Oh. Even microbrews, I feel like they would like.
We should be able to drink on the air. I think that would help the show.
Well, who's going to stop you?
Good point.
Wow, you found a beer quickly.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, I had that waiting there just in case somebody challenged me on it. I was going to be ready, because that's what this show is. It's about being prepared at all times. Because preparation that's my motto.
I thought Preparation H was your motto.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry, it's Wednesday.
I think Preparation H is my sponsor. Or at least it should be. I don't know. Oh, okay. See, another one from England. Another one from England. Man, these guys. See, usually I like Florida news because it's always crazier, but it seems like
maybe all the weirdos were getting ready to evacuate, so they just kind of cut back on their.
Yeah, that could be. I can't remember if I did this one or not, but I'm going to do it again because it's not in England.
Okay.
This is in Santa Ana, California. Police in Santa Ana, California are looking for a suspect who was caught on surveillance camera going on a rampage in a 7-Eleven after his card was declined. A newly released surveillance video taken February 11th shows a white male who appears to be in his 30s attempting to buy a 75-cent bag of almond M&Ms.
Ooh.
When the card is declined, the man lunges towards the cashier, hitting him in the noggin, shoving the register off the counter, and then pushing everything else he sees. As he walks out the door, he throws a handful of bananas at the other clerk's head and knocks over another terminal. 75. Just let the man have the bag of M&Ms. He did thousands of dollars worth of damage.
That's got to be, that's the last straw. That must be it.
Well, when you think of it this way, if you're trying to charge 75-cent almond M&Ms on your credit card, you've already got some issues. If you can't come up with 3 quarters.
Well, and that's such a bargain for almond M&Ms too. So I mean, there are many things at play in this story.
They must have been on sale.
Yeah, so he must have been running.
He went through
getting
so many different stores just to find a bag of M&Ms.
Because he was like, I have 77 cents on this credit card.
Yep, that was all he had, and tax was 6 cents, and he couldn't make it. Just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, California, they charge tax on the food. I bet.
Yeah.
I don't know for
sure,
but. And then he was like, you know what? That was the last of it.
Yep, I've had it.
Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yes. And to take these bananas, and he threw bananas. Which probably cost about as much as the M&Ms.
Maybe more. Yeah, maybe depends on how big the bunch was.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you're going to throw bananas at a grocery store clerk or at a convenience store clerk, you should make sure you get the biggest bunch you have
and organic. I mean, because it's wise.
It's good for the environment. I can't remember if I did that story before, but I like it so much we'll do it again.
Now I want almond M&Ms.
I'm going to read it again right now. No. I think we got one more in us.
Cool.
And the battle for the future of humanity escalated last week thanks to a drunk man who tackled a security robot at in a Silicon Valley parking lot. Jason Sylvain, 41 years old, attacked the crime-fighting K5 droid in the parking lot of robot manufacturer Nightscope the evening of April 19th, according to Mountain View Police Department. She said the police department spokesperson said an employee for Nightscope detained Sylvain before officers arrived at the scene. She said, when we arrived, we met with Sylvain, and as we were speaking with him, he appeared confused, had red glassy eyes, and a strong odor of alcohol emitting from him.
No way.
So, yeah, can you imagine?
How could alcohol be involved with that?
Right. Because I've always, every time I have attacked a security droid, I have made sure to do it sober, because otherwise it's dangerous.
Yeah, you gotta be on top of your game.
Exactly.
I love that was was a security guard at a robotics place, because of course they would test it out. That's just that alone is so great. But they said he wasn't an employee, right? He was not, or was he an employee?
I don't think he was. I think he was just walking by and had a problem with.
Do you ever imagine that you're driving your car and you pass this robotics place every day, and one day you're having kind of a bad day, and you just see the droid go by, and you're like, that hot crap droid thinks he's so great. Yeah. And then when you get drunk, you can't get it out of your mind. Your buddies are like, dude, let it go. Let it go, man.
I bet that droid's credit card wasn't declined for his almond M&Ms.
We're going to see who's man enough. Is it me or that droid? Well, by definition, it's not. Shut up, Steve. I'm on my way now.
Yeah, that droid's going down, man.
You're just like, technology is the problem, man. What are you doing? I'm Googling how to beat that droid.
Well, yeah, you don't want to go in blind. You have to, anytime you go up, especially a K5 droid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got to do your homework. You got to, at the very least, Google and Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah,
because that's going to tell you everything you need to know.
You ever seen Chopping Mall?
The
movie Chopping Mall? It's a movie where these robot security guards start killing these kids who are trapped in the mall. It's really a good time.
Oh, that sounds
fun.
I
think of that whenever I hear security droid, I hear the thank you, have a nice day. And they say after they blow you up and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're malfunctioning, they get struck by lightning.
Yeah, 80s movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you know? It was the 80s?
Because that's when all of those movies were made.
I think that was 88. Yep.
Really?
Good year for killer robots and malls.
Yeah. Yep. That was what we were all concerned about at the time. See, now there's so many other things wrong with the world, we've kind of turned our back on killer robots.
Yeah.
And I am so glad for Mr. Sylvain to keep the fight alive, because he knows that while we're distracted with all these orange-haired freaks in the world stirring things up, when we're distracted by that, he knows that the droids are coming. And he saw it, and we should be thanking him. He should get a full presidential pardon.
Take this, Skynet America! Thud.
Anyway, we should start wrapping up.
Yep.
What do you have out there that's available now?
Right now,
because I know you said you had some Amazon Prime. You had some movies up there for free.
Two of my latest films, Amityville No Escape, which is a horror film. It just came out on Amazon Prime. And also Nothing Good Ever Happens is available on Amazon Prime right now. A few of my other films are on there. Making Out, which is a romantic comedy, came out on Amazon Prime just like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So you can check those out. If you're not an Amazon Prime subscriber, there are DVDs as well. You can find that information. If you just search one of my films, my name's impossible to spell. Don't even try. Henrik Kudo, good luck. Just search Nothing Good Ever Happens movie or Amityville No Escape. You'll see my name on there as director. You click on it, you can find all kinds of stuff. If you want to shop local, there are copies of my films at GameSwap down in Kettering, which is a local chain. Very, very great place to buy movies. And there'll always be more soon. So
every now and then I've seen some of your movies at the FYE.
Yeah, they have them sometimes. I'm not sure if they have any right this second, but whenever they're new, you can find them FYE Suncoast up the Fairfield Commons Mall.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have a website or anything?
You can check me out. My web store is actually incrediblyhandsome.com.
And why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be? So you can go there and check out what we have for sale, and also like I said, my name's impossible to find or to spell, but if you can find my name, you can search me on Facebook, Twitter. I'd be happy to add you. And if you have any questions about cinema or anything like that, I'm very I try to be as available as I can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. It's always good to have you in the studio. I'm going to go ahead and I think with that, we're just going to say good night.
All right. Good. Well, it's a little early to say goodnight, but it's also a little early to be drinking, and that didn't stop you.
It's been a long day. And I still got to go to work for 8 hours when I get out of here. So that's why I started drinking already.
Fair.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming in, Henrik.
No problem.
And we, that's it. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
This is Life. You're on the air.
Oh, that's not even better at all.